It's pitch black outside with a thunderstorm throwing a tantrum and thick clouds rolling in. And right in the middle of this haunted house dinner scene, one bold kid stands up like he's about to drop a mixtape. He looks his dad dead in the eye and says to kick him out, "Pops, he's done?" The whole table freezes like someone farted in church. His dad looks like someone slapped him with a wet sock, while Big Bro nearly dies laughing, asking if he hit his head on the way here. Then this wannabe noble clown brags how their Luke South family is big stuff, tied to the royal family and dripping in reputation. Can't believe this bro hyping up the family like it's Uchiha Clan 2.0. The kid knows that's technically true, but also knows this mansion's heading for disaster faster. See, he's been here before. This whole world, it's copy-pasted from Saint Quest, a game he used to play 24/7 like a lifeless goblin. So, while the rest are clinging to their noble pride like it's a clearance crown, this kid's already speed-running his exit like the future final boss he knows he is. Turns out, our little rebel is Yuri Luke South, the same backstabbing snake who becomes the final boss in Saint Quest. In the game, this guy fakes being the hero's bestie only to stab him in the back when things get juicy, earning himself the title of most hated character with a fanbase of 0. The real story kicks off 5 years from now, with Yuri's infamous betrayal dropping about a year after the main plot starts cooking. Then the plot twist comes. The Luke South family's big brain plan to overthrow the country gets leaked like a cheap faucet, and the noble house of mastermind snobs gets branded as traitors and sentenced to death. House Luke South scheming like it's Code Geass, but ran out of budget mid-season? Everyone except the baby sister gets the axe. Meanwhile, Marco Luke South, the second son and the family's budget Bond villain, is chilling with his riches, convinced his little bro should stick around for that sweet trust fund life. But Marco also thinks Yuri's too slow-witted to see the storm coming. Joke's on him, though, because Yuri already knows this clown's going to end up groveling with his wallet wide open, begging for mercy that'll never come. And when Marco finally gets to his miserable end, he does it in the most pathetic way possible. With last words so lame, it's clear the devs just wanted him out. Miranda Luke South, the eldest daughter, throws shade like a pro, calling Yuri a useless ape and saying the family's better off without a walking liability like him. Yuri just watches her pop off, fully aware she's going to meet her end in the most pitiful way possible, considering she's flexing like a queen now. See, this rebellious little punk is the same guy who will one day sacrifice himself to kill Emelina, the saint, and his death is so miserable it makes players label the whole game a gloomy emo fest. Just when the room couldn't get more awkward, Big Daddy Balin Luke South rises like a final boss, making his cutscene entrance. The air practically freezes. Balin might be the king's younger brother, but instead of tea parties and royal banquets, he's into assassinations and plotting coups, like it's a casual hobby. He's the puppet master who's going to crash the whole country, and even though Yuri's his son, Balin ain't the type to give out father-son hugs. Looks like Balin got more death flags than a berserk flashback. Yuri, keeping it cool, says he wants to explore the outside world and turn those experiences into something useful for the family's future. Balin loses it, and he sees Yuri's speech as pure delusion and practically roars with doubt. Convinced this so-called laggard can't contribute anything except disappointment. Not Luke South, the smug eldest son, already thinks this rebellious kid's funeral should start happening. Balin's shooting Yuri the kind of death stare that's usually followed by a sword through the ribs. He's a bit thrown off hearing that kind of bold speech from the family's certified underachiever. Yuri, meanwhile, starts sweating bullets, wondering if he just signed his death certificate. Flashbacks hit like a truck as his dad straight up slices subordinates in half for backtalk, and now here he is, popping off like a main character. Just as Yuri's ready to write his eulogy, Balin shocks everyone by nodding with something close to approval. He calls Yuri's resolve admirable and says he's ready to hand over some land and train him to become a proper lord. Yuri's stunned but not impressed. Of course, a villain CEO would respect guts over brains. Meanwhile, Sasha, Yuri's little sister and the only non-psychopath in this chaotic royal mess, tells him she's worried about him heading out alone. Unlike the others, she's got a heart and is actually sad to see her big bro dive into danger so young. Even though Sasha's worried sick, she respects Yuri's choice and slips him a protective charm, her gentle hands trembling like she just handed over her soul. It's sweet, sure, but to Yuri, it's a sharp reminder that no matter how kind she is, Sasha's still part of this villainous circus act called the Luke South family. Not gonna lie, this whole fam got more red flags than a Tokyo Ghoul dating profile. Later that night, while swirling some fancy wine like a discount noble, Balin's advisor tries to talk sense into him, warning that giving land to Yuri might backfire harder than a broken fireball spell. Balin, unimpressed with the wine and clearly with zero patience, mutters that not every top-shelf bottle lives up to its hype. He casually drops the idea of offing Yuri, admitting he never thought the kid would dip out on his own like this. Still, if Yuri manages to survive, Balin figures they can just leech off his efforts later. And so, the title drops. Yuri Luke South, Lord of Ale. Sounds impressive until he arrives and sees that the place looks like a dried-up zone no one bothered to program right. Crops refuse to grow, resources are scarce, and even invaders skip this place out of sheer pity. He figures the first step is finding skilled people to rebuild this dump, but he knows most of the talented ones are already licking his father's boots. Still, Yuri's got plans, even if he can't trust half the people he might recruit. As he steps into LA, the villagers eye him like he just crawled out of the local dungeon. At the local slave shop, the owner won't shut up about how amazing Yuri's dear old dad is, probably thinking sucking up will earn him a bonus. Yuri, of course, couldn't care less. Slaves here come with magical contracts, the kind that force obedience and block betrayal, which honestly puts Yuri at ease. It's not exactly the most noble route, but hey, it's perfectly legal in this twisted world. The cheerful shop owner, who's acting like he's selling puppies instead of people, starts showing off a bunch of battered souls he thinks are good enough to build up a dump like LA. He's convinced that Yuri, the infamous third son and certified flop of the Luke South clan, won't know quality if it bit him. But Yuri picks up on the guy's attitude faster and decides to check things out himself. That's when he mentions having Appraising Eye, a special ability from Saint Quest that lets players see the stats and details of others. It didn't even exist in the original game. It's the perfect cheat code for someone about to hire strangers with chains on their necks. To be honest, man's using Appraising Eye like a discount Byakugan with HR privileges. Testing it out, he scans a girl under one of Balin's contracts and quickly realizes nearly all the slaves are tied to Daddy Dearest's contract. Yuri just stares, wondering how many of these people are actually tools sent to keep tabs on him. Yuri's standing in this sketchy slave shop thinking Daddy Dearest probably predicted he'd come here too, because of course the king of schemers is 5 moves ahead. Even the cheerful shop owners are in on it, but Yuri ain't buying it, literally. He tells the guy there's nothing worth picking and he'll shop elsewhere, leaving the dude stunned like someone just spoiled his sales quota. Meanwhile, Yuri's mood is tanking fast, with no hope of finding anyone who isn't influenced by his father. Hope circling the drain until he suddenly remembers the one group that probably isn't playing house with his father, the hero's party. The problem is, if he makes the wrong move around them, he's toast. Yuri's racking his brain for a way to find a slave without any sketchy contracts. Fi, the Neko girl from one of the game's darkest sub-events, is a beastfolk orphan who got enslaved after her village was wiped out and her mom was killed. In the original game, her body just ends up as background tragedy to make the hero question the kingdom's filth. But right now, she's the perfect recruit, who's not tangled in any of Yuri's father's drama or the hero's gang. Honestly, this whole manhunt sounds more sus than a Kakagurui poker night. While poking around, Yuri hears a rumor about a beastfolk hunt, and he instantly knows where it's going down. Just like in the script, he spots Fi struggling to escape a bunch of thugs who think she's cute, but still call her subhuman trash, like they're starring in their own discount villain story. When she bites one of them, they get all riled up and start talking about selling her off. That's when Yuri walks in like a surprise boss spawn. The goons recognize him as the third son of the Luke South family, the kingdom's most well-dressed embarrassment, and figure they've hit the jackpot. They try to jump him for ransom money, but this so-called laggard flips the switch. He vanishes with his stealth skill and reappears like a ghost with anger issues, planting Sasha's lucky charm straight into their necks. Turns out the skill, meant to hit blind spots and vital zones, actually works now, unlike during his sad last boss trial run. The thugs hit the ground, confused and begging like bad actors in a stage play. Yuri stands over them, smirking, and gives them one rule if they want to keep breathing. Never lay a single filthy finger on that girl again. The thugs take one look at Yuri's death glare and bolt like rats. She thanks him a ton, clearly grateful, but Yuri whips out Appraising Eye just to be sure she's not hiding any nasty surprises. One scan later and he sees there's no contract. A rare, clean recruit with no strings attached. Dude's talking like he is recruiting for the Akatsuki, but with aprons. Without wasting time, Yuri casually tells her he's been looking for people like her, which makes the girl squint at him like he's some closet beast folk perv. He quickly waves that off before he gets labeled the kingdom's #1 perv. Then, like a true drama queen, Yuri drops the line with a straight face that he wants her for just one thing. She tenses up until he says it's to get her cleaned up, as she's going to be his maid. And just like that, Yuri takes his first ridiculous yet solid step toward becoming a real lord. Yuri's already plotting like a madman, thinking he's going to wash this poor ragged beast girl till she's cleaner than a royal dinner plate. After giving her the ultimate scrub down, he's blow-drying her hair like he's prepping a prized pet for a show. Then he drags her to a dress shop to get her measurements. The beast girl's just tagging along, totally confused why she's being treated like royalty out of nowhere. That's when Yuri casually drops the bomb as she's going to be his personal maid, so obviously she needs the full glow-up. Even Nezuko is saying, "Damn, I had to live in a box for less." Meanwhile, the townsfolk are whispering like it's gossip hour at the salon, mumbling that the Luke South failures have turned into beast girls now, and Yuri's cringing hard. Even the beast girl's looking at him sideways, asking why on earth he picked a clumsy mutt like her when his elite family probably has armies of maids with normal ears. But Yuri just shrugs and tells her she's the only one who checks all his boxes. After all, with a sneaky rat like Balin Luxoth for a father, Yuri can't trust anyone linked to the family tree. This girl is the exception, the one clean slate in a world full of double agents. Since the Beast Girl was fated to die somewhere off-screen in the original game, that makes her completely off the radar from his father's usual spy network, which means Yuri just scored himself the rarest treasure of all, a slave who's got zero ties and zero risk of stabbing him in the back. She's exactly what he's been hunting for. Meanwhile, the Beast Girl's totally lost, still wondering why this highborn weirdo would want someone like her when no one's ever lifted a finger to protect her. With a shaky voice, she dares to ask if Master Yuri truly needs her, and he just gives her that deadpan look, reminding her he already said so. Once the prep is done, he gives her her very first task, which is to put on the uniform. 10 minutes later, she shows up looking like an absolute cutie from a maid cafe, hugging Yuri from behind like a happy kitten. Ain't gonna lie, the OG Inosuke would drop his swords just to simp respectfully. She thanks him from the heart, even though she knows the human world is crawling with creeps who chase beast folk for all the wrong reasons. But in her eyes, Yuri ain't one of them. He just walks on, saying task 1 is complete, and now it's time for the next plan. When she asks what it is, he flashes the most suspicious grin ever, the kind that says this next move is either genius or criminal, and calmly replies that it's not something fit to be said out loud in public. In the slums, Yuri and the Beast Girl finally arrive at a place so filthy it makes a garbage dump look cozy. The walls are crumbling, the air stinks, and even a random lewd drawing on the wall sends shivers down the Beast Girl's spine like it's cursed art. But for Yuri, this dump has one big perk. It's remote enough that his sneaky old man wouldn't even know it exists, which makes it perfect. Still, the Beast Girl's clinging to his sleeve like the building itself might jump them. Yuri, staying chill, asks who even lives in this mess, and that's when 2 scruffy kids pop out from behind a pile of junk, claiming the place like it's prime real estate. Dude paused like he just got called out by Aaron for living comfy behind the walls. He tells them to move along since he's got important stuff to handle. But one of the kids fires back, calling him a filthy noble and making it clear that no one here gives a damn about orders. That line hits Yuri harder than expected. Guilt creeps in, especially when the little kid admits his older brother hasn't eaten in 2 days. Without saying much, Yuri silently walks up and plants 2 doors on the structure, like he's starting phase 1 of something big. Yuri had officially hit his limit with freeloaders and weirdos, ready to boot the orphan kids out by any means necessary, even if it meant playing the villain in their bedtime stories. The Beast Girl was downright disgusted, watching him treat orphans and beast folk like they were just background props. One of the scrappy kids even squared up, ready to throw hands with this overdressed noble like it was a shonen showdown. But 10 minutes and a couple of meat sticks from the butcher shop later, Yuri pulls a full 180, smoothing things over like a seasoned street negotiator. The kids back off, munching happily, and even the Beast Girl's side-eye softens as she watches Yuri handle the mess like a pro. Then, smooth as ever, he tells the boys to keep watch, which sends Fi into panic mode, thinking he just blocked her escape route. As she quietly plans her grand jailbreak, Yuri grabs her hand mid-dramatic moment and tells her to chill, saying this will be quick. Next thing she knows, he's got her pinned to the wall and her brain short circuits with every wild, lewd thought possible, imagining she's about to be wrecked 6 ways from Sunday. Her legs turn jelly, and she blurts out a shaky plea to go easy on her. Honestly, her legs gave out faster than Zenitsu hearing a demon whisper. But Yuri, completely unfazed, says he won't hurt her, then casually activates a praising eye to check her stats. Turns out, Fi's got the Dragger's skill, Earth magic, and is sitting at a humble level 1. Yuri figured as much when he saw her dagger skill and decent agility. The girl's practically got future assassin written all over her stat sheet. He just silently hopes she doesn't go rogue and kill him in his sleep. Fi, meanwhile, is still standing there like her brain's buffering. When Yuri says they're done with the inn scene, she blurts out that nothing lewd even happened yet, making him freeze with a what the heck face. He's genuinely shocked at whatever R-rated nonsense this bimbo was imagining, and when she flings an idiot at him, he coolly reminds her that's no way to talk to her master. At the weapon shop, Yuri explains the whole status check thing, but Fi grumbles that he could have done that at home like a normal person. He tells her that Appraising Eye is his top secret card, something no one, not even the wallpaper in the Lug South mansion, knows about. So yeah, he's not gonna flash it around like candy. She then asks if he's on bad terms with Daddy Dearest, and Yuri gives her a half-hearted yes. Just then, his eyes catch a dagger worth keeping, and he hands it over like he's passing down destiny. He tells her it fits her skill, and Fi nearly short-circuits from shock. The girl's eyes well up, admitting she was always called useless. But now, she knows she's not empty after all. Clutching that dagger like it's her new purpose in life, she vows to train hard and make sure no one ever calls her worthless again. After checking out a few more shops, Yuri and Fi finally head out, with Fi bouncing like a happy kitten, swearing to treasure her new dagger forever. Yuri, ever the mood killer, casually calls it a disposable tool, like he just handed her a plastic spoon instead of her newfound pride. Right then, the meat stick-loving street brats catch up, calling Fi a brat, which earns them a brat label right back from Yuri. The kids drop a bomb, though. Someone's out looking for Yuri. Turns out, it's none other than Lady Emelina, the saint herself, and Fi's tail practically stands on end hearing that name. That's when Yuri's brain hits panic mode. Emelina isn't just some pretty church girl, she's a powerhouse of holy magic, who joins the hero's party, and worst of all, she's the one who ends up sending Yuri to the afterlife in the original game. When the kid confirms she's definitely searching for him, Yuri's soul nearly leaves his body. She's way too early in the story, and that's bad news wrapped in divine beauty. If he runs into her or the hero's party, it's basically game over with no retry. Not gonna lie, Yuri's dodging Emelina like she's a titan and he forgot his ODM gear. Bro's one handshake away from a whole attack on regret arc. Swearing to dodge the main cast like they're cursed loot, he mutters about his doom while the kid watching this whole meltdown is already bored of the low-budget soap opera unfolding. Just as he's spiraling, Fi hugs him from behind, still clueless that a big shot like Emelina would be interested in someone like him. That seals it for Yuri. He's bouncing before fate hands him an early death flag. Meanwhile, back in town, the crowd's losing its mind over Lady Emelina, the walking goddess of charm, with fanboys lining up like she's handing out blessings. One dude straight up begging to shake her hand like it'll cure his poverty. Lady Emelina struts up like it's the red carpet at the Holy Oscars and grabs the poor boy's hand with all the grace of a saint, handing out blessings and autographs before brunch. The crowd goes absolutely feral trying to get a whiff of her divine presence. People are elbowing each other just to catch a glimpse of this holy bombshell who's out here winking like she's Taylor Swift at a fan signing with a halo filter on. Meanwhile, her eternally grumpy nun sidekick is lurking at her shoulder like a PR agent with a headache. Sis is walking like it's the Jujutsu Kaisen ending credits, and the nun's 3 seconds away from rage quitting the Holy Squad. She mutters if Emelina's really gonna waste more time on this mystery boy hunt instead of focusing on, world-saving duties. That sets Emelina off like a firecracker in Sunday school. She whirls around with the righteous fury of a girl who got her latte order wrong and snaps that fulfilling the emotional wish list of their dear church fans is part of the holy to-do list. Heaven's employees don't just smite evil, They grant sparkly miracles and photo ops. Then she whips out the name like she's reading the next plot twist aloud: Yuri Lugsouth, the third son, the Beast Girl rescuer. The nun rolls her eyes, trying to remind her this ain't exactly groundbreaking stuff since Emelina's done the same thing, freeing slaves in her off hours like it's a hobby. But Emelina goes full fangirl prophet mode, insisting Yuri isn't just some rich kid with a sword and a savior complex. This boy radiates the chosen one energy. She's convinced this is prophecy material in the flesh. Maybe a new saint, the next hero, or the great sage while they're at it. Slap a glowing destiny on his forehead and call it a wrap. Clutching her staff like she's seconds from turning it into a wedding bouquet, she proudly declares that she's claiming Yuri as her official partner. She's throwing herself into this partnership like it's a rom-com, and fate just got upgraded to a shipping tag. Even if the gods themselves roll their eyes, she's not backing down. Yuri's her chosen one now, and may the heavens help him because she's already halfway through the recruitment speech. This girl's acting like she got shipped into a Your Name sequel, while Yuri might wonder if faking his death is still on the table. Afterward, Master Yuri casually thanks the little rascals for the hot tip about the saint. The kids proudly say they only did it because of the juicy meat treat he tossed their way earlier. One of them, clearly addicted, drops a bold hint that future info's gonna cost him, specifically in meat currency. Yuri gives him the side eye and drops the hammer, saying there's no meat from tomorrow onward. The kid immediately drops to his knees like he's auditioning for a tragedy play, begging like his life depends on it, swearing they're starving in the slums and that real meat is practically a fairy tale to them. Yuri flips the switch to cold-hearted mode and tells him straight up he's leaving this town, so begging won't do jack. That lands like a gut punch to Phi, who stands frozen as if hit by lightning, asking in disbelief if he's really leaving already. Sis froze up like she just saw Levi turn his back on the Survey Corps. Yuri tosses Phi the coolest nod in the universe and tells her straight up that she's coming with him. The girl's eyes sparkle like she just got handed a VIP ticket to escape poverty and trauma. Yuri barely notices because his brain's already 3 chess moves ahead. He knows his scheming old man back home is probably rubbing his hands together like some mustache-twirling villain behind the scenes. Yuri has zero clue what fresh hell the guy's about to unleash. And now, on top of that, Saint Emelina is chasing him down like a glitter-coated bounty hunter blessed by God and fueled by chaos. There's no room in this runaway speedrun for side quests involving orphan care. So, when one of the scruffy slum kids starts pouting about food, Yuri shuts him down with all the empathy of a tax collector. He tells the kid flat out there's no more meat on the menu because he's skipping town. The poor brat looks like someone just canceled his birthday and erased the word hope from the dictionary. Phi's standing there, heart clenching like she just watched a puppy get abandoned. But Yuri's built differently. Bro's out here channeling Sasuke after losing the last shred of joy. He stays stone-faced, like he's auditioning to be the next edgelord protagonist. And just when the kid's about to break down and start chewing dirt in despair, Yuri throws him a bone and says he'll show him a secret hunting ground instead. That sentence alone slaps the light back into the kid's eyes. He lights up like someone offered him free steak for life and shoots off like he's strapped to meat-powered jet boots, screaming that he's gonna rally every brat in the slums to this legendary meat haven. Of course, Phi reminds Yuri that they're supposed to be on a tight clock before Emelina finds them and delivers divine justice with sparkly fists, but Yuri just shrugs like a man who's already emotionally retired from life-threatening responsibility. Yuri explains that he's not about to let a bunch of street kids grow up holding a grudge against him like he's the villain in their origin story. So later, keeping his promise, he takes the little gremlins to a hunting ground packed with low-level monsters, basically walking meat with legs. The kids are blown away, jaws on the floor, like they just stumbled into an all-you-can-eat buffet from the heavens. Yuri tells them to go wild and hunt their dinner, and the brats take off with more hype than a festival day. Not gonna lie, them brats took off like it was the hunter exam. Watching them get the hang of it puts a rare smile on Yuri's face, and even Phi's, buzzing with excitement. She asks if she can jump in too, and Yuri gives her the green light, silently hoping this little side quest doesn't slow him down, especially with Saint Emelina still on the move. The last thing he needs is that radiant death flag catching up. Just when he thinks everything's going smoothly, a chill runs down the brat's spine at the sound of a familiar voice. Out of the shadows steps none other than Lady Emelina, asking sweetly if Master Yuri's throwing a party or something. Yuri freezes, brain short-circuiting as he realizes the very saint he's been dodging just pulled up to the meat fest. Bro turns like Tanjiro sniffing blood, and just then, Lady Emelina just spawns like a shiny Pokemon. And now, she's strutting right toward him, ready to talk like it's just another sunny day. Out of nowhere, like a glitch in the Matrix, Lady Emelina's creepy side kicks in, and suddenly the bubbly saint starts acting like she's in the wrong genre. She's all smiles, but not the good kind. It's the sugar-laced serial killer kind, asking Yuri in this oddly chipper voice if he just so happens to be the third son of the Lugsouth family. And right there, Yuri mentally hits the blue screen of death. The man is watching his worst nightmare casually stroll up with holy grace and the vibe of a final boss cutscene. Inside, he's screaming like a kettle about to blow because if this sparkly crusader so much as sniffs out his real name, it's game over. He's convinced she's 2 seconds away from slapping a recruitment badge on his chest and dragging him into the Heroes Party storyline. Dude's trying to dodge fate like it's a Genshin Impact gacha pull with zero pity. But Yuri, being the slippery little tactician he is, decides to pull a classic reverse card. He banks on one thing, Emelina's judgment being about as sharp as a spoon. And bless her, she starts doubting herself, mumbling if maybe she's mistaken. Then she shuffles off to the next guy nearby, ready to hit every random peasant with 20 questions like she's running a census. At this point, Yuri's just standing there dumbfounded like, is this girl seriously gonna interrogate every dude in a 10-mile radius until she finds him? He tries to ghost out smooth like he's exiting stage left, but then she spins around and blocks his path like a pop-up ad one can't skip. Yuri's caught red-handed with his brain buffering in real time. The lad sighs and plays it off cool, saying he just brought the kids here to show them a good hunting ground, like he's running a charity event instead of dodging fate. You know, just a regular Tuesday saving starving kids, not avoiding holy stalkers or dodging the main plot. Just when things were finally starting to chill, one of the scrappy little orphans spots a rabbit in the bushes, and all hell breaks loose in the cutest way possible. The kids jump into action like they're on a nature-themed game show, and Yuri stands there with his arms crossed, watching his master plan unfold like a true puppet master. He didn't set this whole thing up for fame or applause, nah, he just didn't want these brats to starve in a town that barely throws them bones. That little bomb of kindness detonates right in Emelina's heart like holy divine intervention, and her sparkly brain short-circuits from how pure it is. Just as Yuri thinks he can quietly dip out like a smooth criminal, he mutters some half-baked excuse about being busy and tries to sneak away. But, surprise, Saint Emelina pulls her classic Uno reverse card and suddenly grabs his hand with both of hers, drops to her knees like she's proposing in the middle of a rom-com, and starts showering him in praises like he just cured world hunger with pocket change. The dude's dying inside, sweating bullets trying to pull his hand free like it's glued on while awkwardly mumbling every sorry excuse he can think of. Right then, as if summoned by chaos itself, Fi skips over all hyped up, carrying the biggest rabbit known to mankind, yelling out Yuri's name at full volume like she just won a cooking contest. Everything freezes. Emelina included her eyes laser-locked on Yuri like she just solved a Scooby-Doo mystery. Yuri doesn't even blink. He scoops Fi up like a sack of busted secrets, throws her over his shoulder like laundry, and marches off with the dignity of a man who knows he just got caught red-handed by a saint. Bro scooped Fi up like Zoro grabbing Chopper mid-fight and just started walking. As he glances back, there's a sinking feeling in his gut. He can already tell something's off about Emelina's smile now. Yuri's 99% sure Emelina heard Fi drop his government name loud and clear. Somehow, this saint acts like she misheard it, brushing it off with the kind of sparkly smile you'd expect from someone who thinks taxes are optional. For a hot second, Yuri thinks maybe, just maybe, she really is as blissfully brain-dead as she looks. He's finally in the clear. So the dude tries to casually peace out before he accidentally blurts something else that'll trigger a holy crusade. But nope. Just as he's plotting his smooth getaway, Saint Sparkles drops to one knee like she's about to summon divine judgment. And next thing you know, she rocket jumps into the air like she's been moonlighting as a Dragon Ball character, landing so hard the ground cracks like it owes her rent. Yuri freezes mid-step, blinking like he just got smacked by reality. Then she throws him a sunny little smile and asks where he's heading, like she didn't just land with the grace of a meteorite. Yuri's inner soul is screaming, spinning like a loading screen as he tries to come up with an excuse. But before his brain loads a response, fate double taps him with a curveball. A giant wolf comes tearing out of the trees, teeth bared, eyes glowing like it just saw an all-you-can-eat kid buffet. Both Yuri and Emelina spot the beast at the same time. And that's when it hits him. This zone's supposed to be baby mode only, with mobs that could barely scratch a toddler, but toss a high-level character into the mix, and suddenly the forest is coughing up secret bosses like it's patch day. Honestly, if this were Attack on Titan, the music would have already kicked in. Looks like Emelina's insane level just dragged in the Forest Guardian. With the wolf slobbering at the sight of all-you-can-eat street buffet, Emelina steps forward like a divine warrior, planting her staff and yelling at the beast to back off. She declares she'll be its opponent, shining like some holy gladiator, while Yuri just stands there wondering how the hell he ended up in a same versus wolf showdown when all he wanted was to dodge plot triggers and leave quietly. Fi's eyes light up, cheering on Lady Emelina like she just entered the arena finals. Meanwhile, Master Yuri side-eyes her hard and hisses that this is their golden chance to peace out while the walking nuke is distracted. Fi's face drops, full-on betrayed, as she snaps at him for trying to dip while the kids are still in danger, calling it peak uncool behavior. Girl out here channeling Tanjiro's compassion. That's when Yuri drops the real bomb. He tells her straight that Saint Emelina isn't just some sweet miracle nun. She's a straight-up broken character with god-tier stats and muscle that could punch a bear into retirement. She may heal people, but behind that halo is raw power that makes dragons nervous. This man really out here treating Emelina like she's Ultra Instinct and nun cosplay? While Emelina's out there clapping that oversized mutt like it just stole her sacred lunch money, Fi's over by the bushes, clutching her pearls, guilt-tripping hard about bailing mid-battle. But before they can even blink twice, Miss Sparkle's smite has already one-shot the Forest Guardian like it was a tutorial boss, dusting off her robes and flashing the kids her holy toothpaste commercial smile, like she didn't just send a beast to the afterlife without a receipt. The poor kids are still shaking like a stack of Jenga in an earthquake, but they somehow manage to thank her before she starts head-patting them like a proud, magical big sis. Fi's jaw is basically dislocated from how wide it dropped, watching her idol work that divine flex, and Yuri says he told her so, like he didn't just almost abandon the scene. And just when it feels like the happy ending's rolling in, suddenly, another oversized furball leaps out of the shadows with the sneak attack energy of a rage quit player. Fi screams like someone just unplugged the Wi-Fi, and Emelina, still mid-hug like a holy care bear, takes the hit without flinching. Blood starts dripping like she just got into a bar brawl with a bottle of ketchup, but she keeps it classy, brushing it off, even though she knows that slice is the kind that ruins your week. Meanwhile, the new Wolfie is standing there drooling like he just got seated at a buffet, and the two of them are the main course, garnished with sparkles and regret. The boy's knees are practically jelly as that wolf snarls like it's ready to turn him into dinner for two. Emelina's trying to patch herself up, but she knows she won't make it in time to cast a full heal. Just as Wolfie leaps in with murder in his eyes and claws, the kid screams for help like it's his last breath. Out of nowhere, Yuri makes the slickest entrance ever, activating his hidden assassin skill and straight up smacking the wolf across the snout with a face slash so clean it's cinematic. The dude literally backflips in front of the beast like he trained with ninjas, cutting into its eyes and strolling off like he just clocked in for work. Wolfie, now half-blind and fully pissed, rips the dagger out of his skull and locks onto Yuri like he's public enemy number one. Even Kaido wouldn't tank that combo without calling a timeout. But Yuri's already eyeing Emelina to see if she's finished patching up her wounds. With the kids still begging her to finish the fight before they become chew toys, Emelina rises like a final boss, ready to grant that wish. She calls down her holy magic like she's summoning Judgment Day itself. Thousand Cross lights up the sky, frying the wolf's retinas into ash with a lightning strike that looks like it got patched in from heaven. Not gonna lie, Wolfie got his eyes flash fried like he looked straight into a Kamehameha on max brightness. With that divine light show, Wolfie's existence gets straight up deleted, dissolving into sparkly little particles like he just got Thanos snapped by holy magic. Lady Emelina's standing tall like she just soloed a raid boss, flexing her flashy spell without even breaking a sweat, as if it's just another Tuesday. The whole crowd's jaws are on the ground, Beast Girl included, who's practically waving pom-poms now, fangirling over the living cheat code in nun robes. Meanwhile, Yuri's brain is short-circuiting at how busted this woman's powers are. This girl's terrifying in a shiny, church-approved package. Emelina turns to thank Yuri with her angelic smile, saying his help saved the kids. And while he manages a polite nod, inside, he's sweating bullets. The vibe is way off. As he turns to bounce and calls Fi to follow, Emelina pulls her signature move again, grabbing his hand like she's about to drop another emotional speech. But Yuri's got alarms going off in his head louder than a dungeon warning bell. This woman is not about to let him go that easily. Lady Emelina grips Yuri's hand with the strength of a clingy ex, locking him down with those sparkly eyes. She drops the bomb that she doesn't care if he's not Yuri Luxouth anymore. She's totally fine with him being whoever as long as he's the one. That alone sends warning bells blaring in Yuri's head. Before he can blink, she starts rambling about how she's been searching for someone worthy to join the hero's party, and surprise, she wants him. But Yuri shuts that nonsense down fast, yelling to hold up mid-panic like he just got handed a cursed quest. Knowing full well that accepting means walking straight into a tragic game over, he tries pulling away but slips up hard, accidentally grabbing her holy melons like he just activated a forbidden art. Emelina goes from saintly to system error, blushing so hard it looks like her brain shorted out. She's frozen in shock while Yuri's face screams, not knowing how this happened. Before he can fix it, Fi jumps in with a disgusted face, mumbling about boys and their obsession with pom-poms. That's when Yuri yells at her to zip it and stay out of this holy disaster, knowing full well she just tossed gasoline on a fire he was already roasting in. That's when Yuri, in a moment of sheer unhinged brilliance, decides to go full nuclear on his public image. If pretending to be a sleazy perv is the only way to dodge the Holy Avengers recruitment letter, then so be it. So, when Saint Emelina storms up, glowing with divine fury, and demands to know if that melon grab was a mistake, our boy doesn't flinch. He doubles down like a poker player with nothing left to lose, looks her dead in the eye, and claims to have done it on purpose. The atmosphere freezes harder than his ice meteor spell. Emelina's face does a full spiritual reboot, like she just caught Lucifer himself hosting a bake sale in her church. She's already speedrunning her regret arc, muttering how she could have picked literally anyone else for her blessed team, but somehow homed in on this chaotic mess of a man. Meanwhile, Yuri's sweating so hard he's turning his shirt into a portable steam bath. Because the moment the words left his mouth, the gravity of the situation hit him like divine retribution. If this gets out, and you know it will, that the third son of House Luxouth groped a saint, then his father, Balin Luxouth, won't even give him a lecture. Nah, he'll skip straight to carving a gravestone with a family crest and an inscription that reads, "Here lies the disgrace who couldn't keep his hands to himself." Yuri's only hope now is that the shame is so overwhelming, Emelina writes him off as a lost cause. Without missing a beat, Saint Emelina nopes right out of there, ditching our accidental groper like he's last week's laundry nobody wants to touch. With holy fire in her eyes and sparkles in her step, she swears to swing by the Grand Luxouth estate and drag the real Yuri into her Avengers-style hero party. She's clearly unaware she just met with the actual guy, who's now hiding behind a tree, questioning every life decision that brought him here. Meanwhile, our boy Yuri is drowning in worst-case scenario stew, sweating so hard he's basically a walking sauna. A few hours later, and this kid's shoving Fi into a getaway carriage like they're escaping a heist gone wrong. As the wheels start turning and the town fades behind them, Yuri finally exhales like he dodged a divine nuke. Fi, being the adorable fluffball she is, can't help but worry about the orphan kids they left back in the slums, but Yuri waves it off, knowing they will be fine. Little does he know, those nameless brats he bribed with meat on a stick were maybe part of a hidden disaster route in the original game, because he's sure he's seen them somewhere. Yuri's random act of grilled kindness just accidentally deleted the Great Insurrection of the Orphans from the timeline, a future bloodbath he's now unknowingly skipped like a pro gamer finding a secret cheat code. But even with that accidental win, the poor dude's still spinning, unsure if Emelina's truly done chasing or if he's just in the eye of a holy storm. One thing's clear though. He might have dodged the hero party invite, but the universe is still rolling the dice on this walking headache with protagonist hair. As he spirals into his own monologue, Fi just lets him babble on. All in all, the third son of House Luxouth has sworn to stomp every death flag in his way and escape his pre-written crash and burn storyline, and with his cute assassin-maid riding shotgun, this dude's about to build his wasteland empire like it's a SimCity speedrun with trust issues. Fi's all hyped to finally see Yuri's land, eyes sparkling like she's walking into a fairy tale, while Yuri's chilling, thinking it's smooth sailing from here on out. But then Fi catches him in the middle of some sketchy spell work. Yuri, acting like he's cooking up 5-star sorcery, casually explains he's trying to make a magical fridge. The plan is to use water magic to summon water, then blast it with wind magic to freeze it into ice. The only problem is, it's a work in progress. My dude's out here combining elements like it's Avatar, the ice vendor. Still, Yuri's cool with failing since it doubles as magic practice time. Fi watches this guy geek out over his wizard icebox idea, realizing he only ever talks about what he wants. Feeling left out, she throws in a request, having a need to practice something too. And just like that, our wannabe magician gets ready to earthbend her a custom blade. So our boy Yuri gets it in his head to craft a mountain of knives for Fi. Not one or two, this genius decides she needs an entire arsenal, like she's about to audition for the circus or reenact a budget ninja movie. His logic is that she can use them to practice tossing out of the carriage or hunt something for dinner. Fi, being the ride-or-die cutie she is, lights up like it's Christmas morning. She thanks him like he just handed her the keys to a 5-star buffet. 5 minutes later, reality smacks her upside the head. The girl's throwing knives like her life depends on it, but she couldn't hit a barn door if it was tap dancing in front of her. Every blade she throws takes a detour into the dirt, a tree, or just ends up in the realm of lost and forgotten dreams. Meanwhile, Yuri's chilling in the corner like a proud mad scientist, busy fanboying over the success of his knockoff magical refrigerator like Dr. Stone. He's managed to make ice using water and wind magic, and now thinks he's the next magical Martha Stewart. The man's satisfied like he won a Nobel Prize in freezer tech, while Fi's going through an existential crisis with every miss. Then, suddenly, a scream comes that shatters the peaceful vibe. Fi snaps out of her knife meltdown and spots chaos up ahead. A bunch of greasy-looking bandits are trying to snatch girls from another carriage like it's their twisted version of a clearance sale. Their poor dad is on his knees, begging to let his daughter go, and the bandit boss shouts orders to loot, murder, and rob anything with a pulse and a wallet. Yuri, always the opportunist, locks eyes on the other carriage, and oh boy, it's loaded. We're talking gold, gems, maybe even a limited edition magic tea set. His brain switches from morally concerned to cha-ching mode real quick. In a split second, he's scheming up a hero act mixed with just enough bandit energy to technically still wear the good guy badge, but Fi quints at her master like he's sprouting devil horns. She flat out calls him out, saying he's sounding less like a savior and more like a cartoon villain. Yuri shrugs it off, already drafting battle strategies and imaginary tax deductions, because in his head, it's not robbery, it's patriotic crowdfunding for their Brokeland startup. Rolling up like the main character with a soundtrack no one else can hear, Yuri throws down a cheeky punchline about the thugs having a picnic day. Because clearly these jokers were lounging around like it was their backyard barbecue. Naturally, that cracks their egos like overcooked eggs. But before they can puff their chests and spit threats, Yuri drops his homemade weather disaster straight from his magic cookbook. With a combo of wind and water magic, he summons Ice Meteor, and just like that, it's snowing skull crackers. These bandits get wiped out faster than expired cheese at a health inspection, leaving nothing behind but frosted regrets. The boss man, somehow still standing like the last onion ring in the basket, goes full villain mode and grabs the nearest girl like she's a human shield from a discount drama. He waves her around like a get-out-of-jail-free card, barking threats at Yuri like that's gonna work. But Yuri just crosses his arms and deadpans that the guy's barking up the wrong protagonist. He ain't the background extra to be shaken by this Saturday morning cartoon villain. Then, like a plot twist sponsored by divine timing, a knife comes sailing in out of nowhere and sticks the boss's hand like a dartboard. The thug howls like a man who just stubbed his toe. Turns out, Fi finally hit something that wasn't a tree or her own foot. She's staring at her hand like it just became Excalibur's chosen wielder, and honestly, she looks 2 seconds away from demanding a medal. Yuri's trying not to lose it, thinking this thug must be running on hamster wheels if he didn't notice a wide-eyed cat girl yeeting knives at his forehead the entire time. With the hostage girl bolting faster than a free sample giveaway, Yuri steps forward all calm and collected, whips out his ice blade, and finishes the wannabe warlord like it's just another Tuesday chore. Yuri walks away while the last bandit hits the ground. Looks like Fi finally got her one-piece sniper moment, and Usopp would be proud. But let's be real, man's got that Killua energy. Afterward, the rescued family thanks him like he's some legendary hero. Turns out those fancy folks Yuri saved are from the Muller Company, a big-shot merchant farm with enough gold to pave roads and diamonds. That alone flips a light bulb in Yuri's brain brighter than Fi's ears in the sun. So, trying to play it slick, Yuri casually tosses a question, asking if bandits are common around here. And that's all it takes. The merchant dude goes full drama queen, dragging the Lug South family name like it's garbage day. They call them greedy leeches, saying they've got the whole market wrapped around their pinkies, and basically label them as capitalism's final boss. Yuri's just standing there, fake nodding like he didn't spawn from that same villain bloodline. Then comes Fi, all sunshine and sparkles, proud as heck of herself after actually hitting her target for once. She struts up like she just soloed a dungeon and gets a head pat from Yuri like she's earned a trophy. But the real plot twist hits when the merchant wants to know who the heck this ice-slinging savior actually is. Yuri freezes up harder than his own ice meteor spell, trying to sidestep the question like it's a trap card. But nope, Fi ain't letting him sneak past this one. She throws him under the bus with a sparkle in her eye, blurting out that he's Yuri Luke South like she just announced a royal debut. The merchant group hits the floor so fast it's like gravity got petty. They're groveling, sweating bullets, calling him Master Yuri like he's about to tax their profits. And that's when it finally hits him. This whole Lord thing ain't sunshine and tea parties. It's more like a full-time stress simulator on hard mode. Meanwhile, miles away in Villain HQ, Papa Balin is sipping tea when he hears his son's made a beastkin girl his servant without even buying her. The advisor blinks, knowing that he never imagined the third son being into beastkin fetish. But Balin's already putting two and two together. If the brat figured out his game this early, things could get spicy fast. So, in classic Dark Overlord fashion, Balin doesn't just send a passive-aggressive message or cut funding. Nah, he skips right to ordering a monster ambush the second Yuri steps on his land. And because that wasn't evil enough, he switches gears mid-sentence and commands a straight-up massacre instead.